Hello and welcome to the Capital OTB Stakes preview for the weekend of June 9th, 2018. Sully Crotty and Mike Callahan here. How are you, Mike?
What's going on, Sully? What a card we're going to talk about on Saturday. Unbelievable.
It really is a great card. It's like a little mini version of a Breeders' Cup card. It's a absolutely stacked
Pretty
card.
much heaven. If you're a horse racing fan, diehard horse racing fan like we are, it's sort of like heaven. When you see a card like this, so many options, so many amazing prices on horses you'll probably never see again at the prices you're going to see on Saturday. So hopefully you can make a lot of money, all of us, because we're always kind of rooting. If you're also if you're a diehard horse racing fan, you're always rooting for everybody. You know what I mean? You always want to beat the game. So hopefully we all can beat the game on Saturday.
And the toughest part was trying to get 5 races out of the 2 days. So. We did get 5 races. They're all at Belmont Park, obviously Belmont Stakes Week. And the first race we'll be talking about in this week's Stakes preview, it is race 4 on Saturday at Belmont Park. This is the 88th running of the Acorn, a Grade 1 event. This is for fillies 3 years old, going a mile on the main track. And then we'll go to race number 8. Race number 8 Saturday afternoon at Belmont Park. That is the Just a Game. It is a Grade 1 event going a mile on the turf course. And then we'll move to race number 9. This is the Met Mile. Mile on the main track. An absolutely stacked field in the Met Mile. Moving on to race number 10. It is the Manhattan, a Grade 1 event. Going a mile and a quarter on the turf course. And we will end it with race number 11 at Belmont Park. This is the Belmont Stakes, a Grade 1 event. Going a mile and a half on the main track.
And we'll go back to that Acorn, that Grade 1 event. $700,000 purse. 3-year-old fillies. Phenomenal field of 7 horses in here, including your Kentucky Oaks winner, Monomoy Girl. We're also going to have Caledonia Road coming off of a long layoff. She was your defending Breeders' Cup Juvenile Dirt winner for fillies. And again, it's a very good field of 7. We'll start out in numerical order with number 1, Moonshine Memories, going out for Simon Callahan. Flavia Pratt's going to be aboard, and she was really good in her first 3 career starts, including 2 Grade 1 victories, one being at Del Mar, very impressive. Getting a nice 86 buyer, but the last 2 were a little bit of head scratchers. Didn't run well against Caledonia Road as the odds-on favorite in the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Then went on a little bit of a layoff, reappeared on May 12th, and in the reappearance finished a decent second, but you had to believe that she was going to come back and win in that spot. That was going 7 furlongs, stretching out to a mile. She definitely needs to improve as far as buyers-wise to get to the likes of Monomoy Girl and Caledonia Road. But if she's able to improve, she's got a shot.
Yeah, I think she'll be much more improved off that long layoff since the Breeders' Cup. And a lot of confidence out of Simon Callahan sending this horse into this really nice Acorn field. So this is my long shot in this race. You're going to get a really nice price on this horse. I think can improve off of the last effort we saw going 7 furlongs. I don't think the mile distance will be an issue at all, especially if the horse runs like it did 3 starts back at Santa Anita in that Grade 1 event.
Number 2 is Spectator, going out for Phil D'Amato. Javier Castellano is going to be aboard, another interesting West Coast shipper shipping to the east. And this horse hasn't run since April 7th, so it's coming off of a little bit of a freshening, but did finish a solid second to Midnight Bisou, who was one of the odds-on choices going into that Kentucky Oaks. Again, Midnight Bisou got into a little bit of trouble and then was able to finish an even 4th in that race, the Kentucky Oaks. But I thought Spectator ran a really nice race in defeat in that Grade 1 event. Out at Santa Anita, was clearly second that day. The next horse was 7 lengths behind that horse. So, to me, 5 for 5 as far as being in the money. 3 lifetime wins. The buyers, if you're a buyer's person, compare and fit quite well in here. Maybe not the likes of Monomoy Girl, but it's just below in here. And you're going to offer some great value in here at 8 to 1.
There is a lot of things to like here with this horse. And you get Javier in the irons after a really nice, as you said, really nice performance in the Santa Anita Oaks last time out. And I really think she'll handle the mile distance. She looked great at the mile and 16. She looked great sprinting 7 and 6 furlongs. So, and she's run against some really nice horses, as you said last time out, especially in the Santa Anita Oaks. Was clearly second best that day. So, you're getting a really nice price for a horse that's going to try to get to the lead. And if it doesn't get to the lead, is running the money right off the pace.
Number 3 is Monomoy Girl, your 4 to 5 morning line favorite. Brad Cox, Florent Giroux. the Kentucky Oaks winner. 6 for 7 as far as lifetime goes, as far as wins, with the only blemish being that second place performance back in the Golden Round, a Grade 2 event at Churchill Downs. But again, she's been unbelievable. Even in the 2018 campaign, she was so sharp in 2017. You thought maybe she would regress in 2018. She has not at all. She's even shown a little versatility, was able to come from off the pace 3 starts back in that Grade 2 race down at Fairgrounds. Again, she showed tenacity to hold off Wonder Godot in the Kentucky Oaks, and I just thought it was a terrific performance. All signs kind of point to her as being a win. As a winner in this spot, albeit going to be short price as far as win price goes.
It's definitely going to be tough to beat this horse. Florent Giroux is riding probably the best he's ever rode in his career. Brad Cox has had a phenomenal 2018, winning 29% of his races, and this horse has been working lights out. Definitely going to be very tough to beat this horse. There is a lot of other speed in this race, but if she doesn't get to the lead, we saw her come off the pace, something that she's never done before in the Rachel Alexandra very impressively 3 starts back at the Fairgrounds. So it's going to be tough to beat this horse, especially. Do not be nervous if she doesn't get to lead. As I said, she looked great in an unfamiliar territory 3 starts back.
It is going to be interesting, though, if you're kind of looking for possibility to beat her. This is going to be her first time going a 1-turn mile. She's gone 2 turns in every single one of her races. So maybe if you're kind of figuring out a way to beat her, maybe the 1-turn mile would be an instance where you could potentially take a stand with some other horses in here, but nonetheless, off the workout pattern, the way that she's run, the versatility that she has, I think Monomoy Girl is going to be very tough to beat on Saturday. Also, the number 4 horse is going to be Geo Game. Mark Casse, 15-1 on the morning line for this horse. Julian LaPerouse is going to be aboard. A winner last time out. Gutsy performance against She's the Julie, a nice horse that came back to win next time out. GM Gagnon got an 88 buyer, which is a little bit lower than the tops among here, but fits nicely as far as the entire group as a whole. Again, this horse had a nice second place finish. To go Google yourself, a horse I know you liked, that raced in Keeneland back in the spring meet. But again, this horse is a touch below as far as buyers goes. But it's a horse that's going to be coming from off of the pace. And like you said, the pace could potentially be hot in here in a 1-turn mile. If everything kind of collapses, I could see Geo Game getting there on price.
Absolutely. And I like the connections, LaPerouse and Casse. Casse's winning 16% of his graded stakes this racing year. And she lost to a really nice horse that I like on the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival that's running. This weekend is Camilla Princess, and she's at a really big price in another graded stakes. So I thought she ran great at Gulfstream against her, and as you said, go Google yourselves, a nice horse. She's a Julie as well. So as you said, it's going to be a lot. The pace is going to be hot, and she does like coming off the pace, so she could make it interesting late.
Number 5 is Caledonia Road, very impressive as a 2-year-old. Ralph Nix, 3-1 on the morning line. Mike Smith is going to be aboard. This horse won 2 of 3 starts, including that Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies dirt race at Del Mar, was 2 for 3 in the 2-year-old campaign, reappeared in the 3-year-old seasonal debut to win impressively by 3.5 here at Belmont. So this horse does have the horse for course angle, does have that victory here at Belmont Park. Got an 84 buyer. Again, if you're trying to beat this horse, does have to, as far as Monomoy Girl goes, everybody kind of has to come to Monomoy Girl. She's got a career best 97 buyer last time out. And that's about 10 to 11 points higher than most everybody in the field, except for number 7, who we'll talk about a little bit later on. But Caledonia Road, off the seasonal debut, was very impressive, very workmanlike in the performance, winning by 3.5. Does have to take a step forward to get up to the likes of Monomoy Girl, but second off the layoff, should be much more fit and seems to be right in the wheelhouse. Seriously, contender to, if the pace folds, Caledonia Road will become late.
Yeah, I do like her in here. I have her right in my mix, and I like Mike Smith back in the irons after a really nice ride in that Breeders' Cup, winning at a 17-1 price, and then got some time off, very deserving, and then just tried to see how she'd do off the layoff. She handled it nicely with Alvarado in, a big favorite at Belmont, and she's been working lights out since that April 29th optional claimer that she won. Lots of bullets on the page for this horse, and winning next time out for Ralph Nix. He wins 14% of those races, so that's just a nice stat there. I think she's a very big contender in here. And I think you'll get a better price at 3-1, with a lot of the attention probably going to go to the 7, who we haven't talked about yet.
Number 6 is Star Cloud, 20-1 on the morning line. You're going to get Elvin Jimenez aboard. A winner of 3 in a row, including last time out in a restricted stakes down at Gulfstream Park, going 7 furlongs. So he's going to stretch out to the farthest distance as far as career-wise goes, to this mile distance. But again, razor sharp, looking for 4 in a row. But it's been against far less as far as quality goes. It's seriously going to get an acid test in here. It's going to be forwardly placed in here. And if they use the approach of trying to go out there and wing it, see as far as we can go in here, there does look to be some applied pressure with the number 7 in here, and definitely you will see Monomoy Girl forwardly placed. So not really sure race dynamic wise how good it sets up for Star Cloud.
Yeah, I have a tough time. I agree with you there, and I think the stretch out is going to help this horse. I think this is a really nice sprinting horse, can possibly win some graded stakes, but this is a big ask here. Albin Jimenez is coming up to ride the horse though, so he's been riding extremely well on this horse, 3 wins and 4 starts, but. I agree with you. I think the stretch out's just a little too much. This horse wants to get to the lead, and there's just too much better other horses in this race that want to get to the lead.
Number 7 is Talk Vouvet to me. Going off for Rudolph Brissett. Jose Ortiz is going to be aboard 8-1 on the morning line. This horse last time out ran a really nice race to a horse named Miss Mischief, a nice horse for Steve Asmussen. Got a 93 buyer. Only lost to that horse by a length and 3/4. They went a quick time of 1:21.4 for 7 furlongs. And again, this horse has a nice trend going right now. Is getting better with each and every start. Had a career best 93 buyer last time. And if you're looking at any other horse, that is the closest as far as buyer-wise number any horse is to Monomoy Girl. So this horse has been trending up at 8-1, offers a lot of value. You get Jose Ortiz aboard, a lot to like.
Right, and there's a lot to like with the trainer stats as well. At 14% winning graded stakes, and going sprint the routes, winning 27% of those starts with a very big ROI over 14. So a lot to like here with this horse. This horse beat Gas Station Sushi last time out, who went into that Grade 2 event at Churchill Downs Kentucky Derby weekend, who was undefeated after a very impressive win at Keeneland. So this is a really nice horse. I think this horse might get hammered on the odds board. I think if you get 8-1, that's going to be a very big shot.
Yeah, I think people are going to see that maiden special weight victory too. Very impressive 11 1/4 length victory, getting that 92 buyer down at Fairgrounds. A wicked time of 109.3 down there for 6 furlongs. So I agree with you and believe that's going to be the case. The 7's going to be that buzz horse coming into the race, taking a lot of money. See if this horse can apply some pressure to Monomoy Girl in this spot. But what are your thoughts here in the Grade 1 Acorn?
I think it's going to be tough to beat Monomoy Girl. I am interested to see if she can go the 1 turn. I don't think it'll be an issue at all. It's going to be, in these type of races, I try to beat some favorites, but she's just clearly the best on paper, and she is the best in this race. I have Monomoy Girl on top. Second spot, I have Talk Vouvet to me. The 7 horse, I think might get hammered down from that 8-1 price. I think she really is interesting. I don't think the outside stall will be a problem or stretching out. And then I have Caledonia Road to finish off a trifecta. 3-1, she may get ignored because all the attention going to the 7, but she's been working lights out for Ralph Nix. And as I said, I like the connections of Nix and Mike Smith. Mike Smith getting back in the irons after their win together in the Breeders' Cup last November.
Yeah, I'm on board with you on Monomoy Girl. I think it's, you would like, in a perfect world, to try to beat her as far as value goes, but she's just so good, and she was able to overcome the 14-hole last time out, set a really nice trip. And Wonder Godot gave her everything she had, and she was able to repel her. Wonder Godot is going to go up in the Queen's Plate, so if you're wondering where she's going to go, we'll be up there to cover that later on this month. But, again, Monomoy Girl, workouts have been sharp. The 1-turn mile is a little bit of a question, but I don't think that should be too big of a factor in here. She gets the job done for me. Underneath, another 8-1 shot. I don't have your 8-1 shot on there. I do like Spectator, though, a horse that's coming over from the West. Nice second-place performance last time out to Midnight Bizou, a horse that was really at the top of this level as far as 3-year-old fillies goes. I think she can put in a nice performance on the cutback from 1.16 to a mile. And then also Caledonia Road. I really have nothing bad to say about her. Just going to try to look for a little bit of more value as far as the exactas goes. I think she's a horse that's going to be closing late, easily could get into the exacta and try and potentially win in it as well with Mike Smith aboard. As my long shot play, I'm on a Geo game, 15-1 on the morning line. I've always liked this horse. Last time out, did have her in that optional claiming event where she was able to grind down She's a Julie. She's a Julie came back to win next time out. So I just think she's a horse that race dynamics-wise could benefit from a quick pace. She's going to be closing into this one as well. So 15-1 on the morning line. We use Geo game as the long shot. All right, we'll take a look at the Belmont 8th on Saturday now. It's the Grade 1 Just a Game. Another $700,000 purse for fillies and mares, 4-year-old and upward. They're going to go 1 mile on the turf. And this is another really, really good field of 8 horses in here. Starting out with number 1, On Leave. Going out for Shug McGahee. Manny Franco's going to be aboard 9-2 on the morning line. This horse last time out did finish second. Only beaten a half length, 2 Proctor's Leads on the Kentucky Derby undercard at Churchill Downs. on May 5th. Thought that was a very good performance. This horse has been a model of consistency as far as Beyers goes, always getting around that 94 to 99 range. Did have that win 3 back in a grade 3 event down at Gulfstream Park. For me, she's a no-brainer as far as exotics goes, but I wasn't able to put her on top.
Yeah, I left her out of the top 3, but definitely I'm going to use in multiples as well. But 9-2 is a really nice price for her. She's running consistent Beyers, and Manny Franco is up for Shug. So this horse should have won last time out. If you like Proctor's Ledge at all, you have to like On Leaf. She really should have won that race at a way better price. So she loves the surface as well. So 9-2, you're getting a really nice price on Leaf for really nice connections.
Yeah, and if you're looking for the horse for course angle, 4 for 5 as far as victories goes at Belmont. So note that as you're taking a look at this race. On to number 2, Dream Dancing going out for Mark Casse. Julian Laperoux is going to be aboard a long shot in here at 20-1. Last time out, did run in the same race on the Churchill Downs undercard, that grade 2 Distaff Turf Mile. Finished 4th, only beaten 2, but had to go really wide in that event. Went 5 wide into the lane. Didn't think it was that bad of a performance as a long shot in that race at a little bit over 20-1. Does have a victory, 5 starts back in a grade 1 event at Del Mar Oaks, beating the likes of Beau Recall and Madame Dancelot, who are very good horses in their own regard out on the West Coast. But again, this is a horse that really hasn't had very good races of recent. The best of recent was that 3-back race, finishing 2nd, beating a length and 3/4. To me, is going to really have to be on her game to be able to get into the mix here.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be tough for her, and she runs competitively in some races, but I think it's a little too much for her to win this race. She hasn't won since last August of 2017 at Del Mar, winning the Del Mar Oaks. That was a nice performance at a little bit of a price, but since then, she really hasn't shown much since that performance. She's not very good at this distance. I think a longer distance for her is what she wants to run, but she tried the mile distance last time out. I didn't think it was a bad performance at all, especially closing behind 2 nice horses who were in this race, but to me, I could not use.
Number 3 is Off Limits for Chad Brown. 7-2 on the morning line. You're going to get Javier Castellano aboard. Last time out, did run in that grade 1 Jenny Wiley against Sister Charlie, who was unbelievable for the Chad Brown barn on the comeback trail. Hadn't been seen since the Belmont Oaks Invitational. And Sister Charlie was unbelievable that day. Off Limits didn't run a bad race, though. Finished 3rd, only beaten 2.5. Had to float very wide into the stretch. When Sister Charlie was sort of angling out to get some room, kind of fanned out a couple horses, including Off Limits. I, again, didn't think that was a bad performance. This horse was on a 4-race winning streak, 3, 4, 5, and 6 starts back, getting 101 and 105 Beyers in both of those victories. I think this is a horse that is a serious contender in here, is going to need some pace to close into as a stone cold closer, but also has that horse for course theory, 3 for 5 as far as wins goes over the Belmont Turf Course.
Yeah, I think she is a must-use here, and Chad and Javier on the grass, nice connections there. They were going pretty quick fractions at Keeneland last time out, as you said. Chad took the trifecta there with 4-star Crook and Sister Charlie. Really not a bad performance there. She went off at a nice price. You're going to get a really nice price, I think. In this race, if she stays at 7-2, I think that's a very fair price for her where you can make some money.
Number 4 is Lull, going off of Christophe Clement. Jose Ortiz is going to be aboard 5-1 on the morning line. This horse hasn't been seen since March 31st, back at Gulfstream, going the 1 mile distance in a grade 3 event. Was able to set quick fractions and hang on. They went a really quick mile of 133 flat over the turf course. Did beat the likes of On Leave that day. This horse, to me, is either on or off her game. So if you kind of use the hot and cold theory, did win 3 starts back, then ran a little bit of a dud against Off Limits, 2 starts back, was on her game last time out, coming off of a little bit of a freshening. The workout pattern has been okay. She's an interesting horse. Either you love her or you probably don't.
Yeah, I'm on the side where I think she's going to run a big race here, and if no one wants to run with her, she could potentially wire this field, and if someone wants to push the pace, we've seen her hang on to some pretty fast fractions twice, 3 back and last time out. And early on in the career, lost by a nose and some pretty fast fractions. So I think she runs big here today. I think Jose Ortiz and Clement have really they really know how to run this with this horse. So I think she can only improve off that grade 3 Honey Fox last time at Gulfstream Park.
I will say this about Lull. if you're looking at race dynamics alone, she's probably one of two horses that potentially will be on the pace, and the pace doesn't seem to be really quick. You do have a lot of horses that are going to be coming from off of it, so her chances are definitely increased with the way that the race kind of sets up. On to number 5, Proctor's Ledge, going out for Brendan Walsh. Johnny V's going to be aboard 4-1 on the morning line. This horse did win last time out in that Grade 2 race that we talked about, with the likes of On Leave and also Off Limits being in there as well. But for me, I thought that was a very good performance. Was able to come from off the pace that day. It was over a good turf course. And again, if you're kind of reading through the chart here, this horse loves it when it's wet. So for me, take a look at the weather on Saturday. The more weather, the better for Proctor's Ledge. The horse definitely likes an off going. If the turf potentially is firm, I would kind of side away from Proctor's Ledge. So for me, that's the way I'm thinking about it. I know you're high on the horse off the last race victory. But again, weather to me, as far as reading into the form anyway, it seems to kind of be in the way she likes the weather.
Yeah, I agree with you there. She definitely runs better on a little bit more wet of a surface. She does okay on the firm turf course, but overall, she does run in the money. She ran in the money 8 of 12 times on the grass. I think at 4-1, and she does offer some value for Brendan Walsh and Johnny V. So 16% winning percentage for Brendan Walsh in graded stakes. Still looking for that first win at Belmont. So I think she's okay to use underneath. But I'm just going to give it away. I did use her on top because the last time performance. I think she can repeat that. I think with the not too much pace in here besides the one and lull, she's going to be sitting right off, and she's going to get a jump on those closers because she likes to sit 4 or 5 lengths off.
On to number 6, Cambodia, going out for Tom Proctor. Drayden Van Dyke's going to be aboard 10-1 on the morning line. This horse is coming off a little bit of a freshening. Has been seen since that Grade 1 Jenny Wiley event that we talked about, where Sister Charlie and Chad Brown went 1, 2, 3 in that race. This horse, though, does have some very good performances out in Del Mar, including that Grade 1 race in the Breeders' Cup, Fillies and Mares turf against Wahida and also Rhododendron. Finished a nice third back in Breeders' Cup November 4th. The workout pattern has been quite sharp for this horse. Hasn't raced here at Belmont Park, but again, on the turn back to a mile, again, just race dynamics alone, she's another one that's going to be coming from off the pace, but I have her as a nice use as far as long shots go at 10-1.
Yeah, I think she's a really nice long shot play here. Getting Drayden Van Dyke back in the irons, I think, is going to be a very nice play here. And let's see if she can take those races at Del Mar and bring them to New York. I believe she can. I think she'll be much fresher off that long layup since the Breeders' Cup weekend, since Del Mar ended. So I think the second time out, she's been working phenomenal as well. I think she's going to get towards the lead as well, which we already said the same thing about Proctor's Ledge. She can be pretty dangerous up near the front of the pack.
Number 7 is a Raving Beauty, going out for Chad Brown, another Chad Brown trainee in here. Rod Ortiz Jr. is going to be aboard. The 5-2 lukewarm favorite so far in this event. 1-1, did win the North American debut very impressively in the Grade 3 Begay. I thought that was a very good performance. They came home very quickly, beat a nice horse in Inflexibility and also Lido. I got 98 Buyer, which is comparable to the field. But again, I think this horse can only get better in the Chad Brown barn. This horse predominantly had raced overseas in Italy and Germany, running in some Grade 1, or Group 1 and Group 2 events. Finished a nice second in a Group 1 event back in October of 2017. I think this horse is the real deal, is facing the likes of some very good horses, though, and is going to have to prove it on Saturday.
She definitely is going to have to prove it on Saturday. I think it's a fair that she's favorite in this race. Again, in my multiples, I'm definitely going to play the horse. You can't leave the horse out. But I think she's pretty beatable at that lukewarm favorite. So I stood against her there, but it is Chad, and it is at Belmont Park. And the horse looked great last time out. So I think 5-2. If you're high on the horse, you got to take advantage of that price.
And I just think race dynamics, as we've talked about it before, the pace doesn't seem to be really quick. I could see a Raving Beauty who sat the pocket last time out, kind of sitting the pocket again. So we'll see if that's able to be to be done by Rod Ortiz as he kind of jostles for position in here. On to number 8, La Coronel. Mark Cassie, Jose Lascano, 10-1 on the morning line. This horse last time out did race against the likes of Proctor's Ledge, On Leave, Dream a While. I thought that performance, 6th place performance, only beaten 3.5. Kind of tough to gauge that day. Really, nothing was closing. Proctor's Ledge kind of sat a little close to the pace. But if this horse goes back to any of the 2, 3, 4 back races, was just there, finished fourth to Sister Charlie in the Jenny Wiley. I didn't think that was a bad performance. And then even 3 starts back, had a nice third, only beating 3/4 of a length to 4-star Crook, who came back to run second to Sister Charlie. I think this is a horse that's either hot or cold, another one where you either love her or you hate her. I cited against her, but I could see people using her as a long shot.
Yeah, absolutely. And, to me, on paper, I think she wants to stretch out. I don't think she likes this mile distance very much. We saw that last time out. She does have a win going this distance, and I think I jinxed her last time out. She was 4 for 4, I believe, at Keeneland, and then lost last time to Sister Charlie and 4-star Crook. So definitely a horse that I think likes to go a little bit farther of a distance than a mile. But for a long shot play, I had to look somewhere else.
All right, pick time here in the Just a Game.
Yeah, I know we're going to be way off here. I went Proctor's Ledge on top. I think this horse is coming in razor sharp after last time out. We know the horse can handle the mile distance. It's going to sit the pocket with the Raving Beauty, so let's see if Johnny B can be a little bit more aggressive than Arad Ortiz. Second spot, I went with Lull. Not too much speed in here. I think this horse, she can really hang on. She gets to the lead. If people want to press her, we know she can hang on to that lead with some fast fractions at this distance. And then third, I went... This is going to be my long shot in here as well. I think Drayden Van Dyke and Cambodia had the potential to run a really big race here. They've raced against a little bit better in here, including last time out and including in November in the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Raving Beauty. I had her last time out in her North American debut for the Chad Brown Barn. Was so impressive winning that race by 3 lengths. I know she's going to be a short price, and probably a lot of people are going to use the wait and see if she's able to face the likes of these horses in here in this Grade 1 event. But I think she's the real deal. I think she's going to get a good trip in here. Hopefully sit the pocket again, because she's a horse that likes to be covered up again. All those overseas horses like to be covered up and make one sort of serious run down the stretch. So we'll see if Arad Ortiz Jr. can kind of navigate her to victory. I like the number 7, Raving's Beauty, on top. Underneath, number 3, Off Limits. Another Chad Brown trainee. I think he's going to go 1 and 2 in here. Last time out, did finish third, beaten 2.5 to Sister Charlie. But this horse had a nice 4-race winning streak back at the end of 2017. I think this horse, third start of the 2018 campaign, should be very fit in here, and I like this horse to finish second. Also underneath, on lead, the number 1 horse went out for Shug, Manny Franco. This horse has been a mile of consistency. Loves this turf course here at Belmont. 4 wins and 5 starts here at Belmont. So a horse for the course there with on leave. And then also Cambodia, your long shot play is also going to be my long shot play. I think at 10 to 1 offers a lot of value. This horse has faced the likes of some very good horses. Sister Charlie last time out did face Off Limits as well, and also finished a really nice third place performance in that Breeders' Cup Filly and Mares Turf to Wahida and Rhododendron, who are very nice horses in their own regard. So we'll see if Cambodia on the turn back to a mile can do some damage in here, kind of closing late. So very interesting race in the Grade 1 Just a Game. We'll see how it goes on Saturday. All right, that's going to take us to our first break. We are through 2 of the 5 on Saturday's tremendous card on Belmont Stakes Day. We come back, we'll take a look at the Met Mile and one more. So stay with us.
Not at the track and not near a computer? No problem. Wager with Capital OTB's Touch-Tone Wagering System and you'll never get shut out again. Capital OTB's Touch-Tone Wagering System is quick, simple to use, and guarantees your wagers are accurate and placed on time. For more information, visit CapitalOTB.com or call Capital OTB's customer service hotline at 800-292-BETS. Capital OTB's Touch-Tone Wagering System. Never get shut out again.
Welcome back to the Capital OTB Stakes Preview. Mike Callahan, Sully Crotty going over 5 of the big stakes races on Saturday on the Belmont undercard, and also the Belmont Stakes itself, as we'll take a look at that a little bit later on. We're up to the Met Mile, a Grade 1 event. $1.2 million purse for 3-year-olds and up, and this is a tremendous field. It's really tough to kind of side with just one horse in here. You kind of want to use 5 or 6, possibly 7 horses if you're using, the multi-race wager, as far as pick 3s, pick 4s, and pick 6 wagering goes. But we'll start out with numerical order with number 1, Mind Your Biscuits, going out for Chad Summers. 5-2 morning line favorite. Joel Rosario is going to be aboard. This horse stormed home. Very impressive in that Group 1, Grade 1 event, the Dubai Golden Shaheen against XY Jet and Rory H. I thought that was a tremendous performance. That was going 6 furlongs. This horse is stretching out to a mile, and for me, I think that's probably the maximum as far as distance goes for this horse. but does have that second place finish to Sharp Azteca in that Cigar Mile. I know you were down there that day with Seth to watch in person. Got a nice 107 buyer. I think this horse can stay the distance. I'm just not thrilled with the inside post kind of dropping back. Is going to need to have a quick fractions in here, and I'm just not sure if that's going to be the case. I have the horse in my mix, but I'm not sure as a win candidate at a short price I want to use on top.
I have the horse in my mix as well, and the thing about Mind Your Biscuits is the day at the Cigar Mile, Sharp Azteca just couldn't lose. That was not a bad performance at all going that mile distance. Wasn't a bad performance either. The race before in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. So definitely, I don't think the mile distance would be terrible. I don't think anyone, I think she could, Mind Your Biscuits can only improve off of that Cigar Mile, and Mind Your Biscuits showed that. Went to an optional claimer, should have won that race, lost the Conquest Windy Cindy, but last time out, if this horse closes like that, I think gets to the wire first, you're getting a really fair price at 5-2 for Mind Your Biscuits.
Number 2 is Bolt d'Oro, a notable name that's been on the Triple Crown Trail. Did run in the Kentucky Derby last time out. Really was a head scratcher. Finished 12th, beaten 24 1/4. I'm going to completely throw out that race. This horse is a 3-year-old facing olders. We've kind of all thought this horse would really relish the mile distance. Is actually going to get it on Saturday. But again, facing older horses, to me, I think this horse is going to be sitting about 3rd or 4th going into the far turn. If this horse is able to get the jump on Mind Your Biscuits and a couple of other closers in here, I don't see any reason why Bolt d'Oro kind of tussle with the better older horses in the division.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Bolt d'Oro, clearly, I agree. You just got to throw out the Kentucky Derby. Looked great at Santa Anita Derby. Lost to Justify. That was a phenomenal ride by Mike Smith. Just beating Javier there. You get Florent Giroux up for the first time, which I don't think will be a problem at all. Did beat McKenzie off of DQ. So this horse has beaten some solid horses. Has run huge against some solid horses as well. And honestly, the 3-year-old division this year is the most competitive we've ever seen. So if the 3-year-old going against older is going to throw you off a little bit. This is the most competitive 3-year-old division we have seen in a long time. So 4-1 is a really nice price for Bolt d'Oro.
Number 3 is Limousine Liberal going out for Ben Colebrook. Javier Castellano is going to be aboard 10-1 on the morning line, and I know you're a big advocate for this horse. I know he's sort of in the Sully barn as far as stables goes. This horse is 17 for 21 as far as being in the money, including 8 victories last time out. Did run in that Grade 2 Churchill Downs handicap going 7 furlongs. Was able to get the job done, wearing him down, winning by a head against a couple nice horses in Warrior Club, and also Awesome Slew. Another one that's going to be sitting just off of the pace. Could sit an ideal trip in here. The workouts have been sharp, and the price is definitely right.
Definitely a nice price here for the horse. Jose Ortiz is not in the irons, going the Good Samaritan for Bill Mott. I don't think it'll be a problem with Javier. It just needs. I think the stretch out's going to help this horse even more. This horse was coming late. If last time out was a mile race, I think the horse wins by a couple lengths. So that the horse really had to grind for that win. I just think likes that Grade 2 event. Won that race 2 times in a row on Kentucky Derby weekend on wet surfaces. Has looked okay on the fast track as well, especially 2 races back. Really impressive win at Churchill Downs. So it fits in nicely here. At a really nice price and a really competitive race.
Yeah, and that's also a good point that you just mentioned for Limousine Liberal. Really does have that pattern of liking and relishing the wet surface. So if there is some rain on Saturday, I definitely take a look at Limousine Liberal, a horse that definitely likes the off-going at a nice price of 10-1. On to number 4, McCracken going out for Ian Wilkes. Brian Hernandez Jr. is going to be aboard 12-1 on the morning line. Last time out, did run in an optional claimer at Churchill Downs off of a long layoff. Was able to close very impressively, get up by a half length against a couple nice horses. Now steps up into Grade 1 company. Had done so last year. Very impressive in the Haskell when almost got the job done. Just got nipped by Gervin that day. This horse to me is another closer to fear in this spot. Second off the layoff. Again, going to get a little bit of an acid test, but the price is right at 12-1.
Great price for this for McCracken last time, and we saw that last time out. And really nice performance there. In that optional claiming race, a really nice field as well on Kentucky Derby Day. 2 back, I didn't think that was the best trip for McCracken. Obviously, the Travers, we could completely toss that race. So I think this horse, if it runs like it did in the Haskell and even runs like it did on that Kentucky Derby trail, going to be really tough to beat, especially coming late. Likes this distance. Ian Wilkes, familiar with the New York circuit, so you're getting a nice price as well for McCracken at 12-1.
Number 5 is Good Samaritan going out for Bill Mott. Jose Ortiz is going to be aboard 10-1 on the morning line. This horse was a very impressive winner. 2 starts back down at Fairgrounds in the Grade 2 New Orleans handicap against Hollywood Handsome and also Scuba are pretty nice horses. Got a nice 99 bar. The last time out, ran a little bit of a dud. Finished third, beaten 5 1/4 to Backyard Heaven. To me, is one of those situations where this horse is just going to need a ton of pace to kind of close into. It was a 1-run closer in here. The workouts, though, have been sharp. Take a look at that June 3rd workout. First of 55. It was up at Saratoga, went 4 furlongs and 48-1. This is another horse to kind of use as far as closing aspects goes.
Absolutely, and you get Jose Ortiz in for the first time, which you always already staying with Mind Your Biscuits. So I like Bill Ma here. WinStar in China, they have been winning everything. I feel like I say that every week when we do the stakes preview. They have been winning everything, so definitely a fair price here for Good Samaritan. I think it's another must-use at a really nice price in your multiples and even in your exotics.
Number 6 is One Liner going out for Todd Pletcher. Ryder Ortiz Jr. is going to be aboard. 12-1 on the morning line for this horse, who won 2 starts back and a 3 other than optional claimer at Keeneland. Thought that was a decent performance. Actually looked like he was going to lose going around the far turn, but was able to kind of resurge and kick clear by a length and a quarter. Last time out, thought the horse ran a decent race in the Grade 3 Pimlico Special against Irish Warcry. Again, that was over a sloppy surface. This horse has run really well on a fast surface, though. If you take a look at the first three career starts, including that Grade 3 Southwest, this is a horse that kind of can sit just off of the pace and may get a jump on the closures in here at a nice price of 12-1.
Yeah, and the owners, again, are WinStar in China, so you might want to use them there. Nice connections with Todd Pletcher, really interesting at 12-1. This horse is cutting back from that mile and 3/16 in the slop at Pimlico, the mile and a 16th in the optional claimer, 2 starts back. Looked okay sprinting, so I think right in the middle at the mile, I think that's a really nice distance for this horse. Is going to attempt it for the first time, and it seems to like to get to the lead. If it doesn't get to the lead, I wouldn't be discouraged. The best buyer this horse has had when it came off the pace in that Grade 3 Southwest at Oakland Park.
Number 7 is Discreet Lover. 50-1 on the morning line. You're going to get Manny Franco aboard. Did have that decent win, 3 starts back in the Grade 3 Excelsior, going a mile and an eighth. This horse is going to come back to the mile distance. But if you're just taking a look at the overall body of work, is going to get a serious acid test going into a Grade 1, first time since back in 2017. And for me, just a lot has to go right for this horse to hit the board.
A lot does need to go right here. And, this horse has not had a good start or a good race at all, like a perfect race at all, since the horse won back at Penn National in that $100,000 stakes. Last time out, bumped at the start, 3 back, stumbled at the start, 4 back, was wide. And I didn't think ran bad at all in the Pimlico Special. It's just Irish Warcry was just on a different level there. It really, I think it's over its head here. And the 50-1 really does stand out for itself.
Number 8 is Ransom the Moon going out for Phil D'Amato. Flavian Prat is going to be aboard 10-1 on the morning line. This horse reappeared off of a long layoff in the Kona Gold Grade 2 event against a horse I really like in Bobby Abu Dhabi. Ransom the Moon finished second to that horse, only beating a length and a quarter. I didn't think that was bad for the seasonal debut. Second off the layoff, should be much more fit in here. Did get that 100 buyer in here, which fits very well as far as the overall body, as far as all the horses in here goes. But hasn't won since 4 starts back, and you could even put an asterisk next to that win in the Grade 1 Bing Crosby when Dre Fong lost his rider that day, and then Dre Fong was loose and kind of really messed with Roy H. that day, who ended up finishing second, and everything kind of pointed to Ransom the Moon winning that day. But nonetheless, this horse has showed that this horse can run repeat performances on the stretch out to a mile. That's also a little bit of a concern in here. But nonetheless, you're going to get a really good value on great connections with Flavian Prat and Phil D'Amato.
Absolutely. And, this is a really interesting horse, as you said. The stretch out, that is the question mark for this horse. But this horse is raced against some solid sprinters. Roy H. and, as you said, Babu Abu Dhabi, who's also on this weekend's card. So, I'm interested to see, how this horse does. As a win candidate, I can't use, but I like the connections with Prat. I like the connections with D'Amato. So I want to see how this horse does at the mile. I'm definitely going to use in my multiples because if you lose to those connections at a price, you're going to be very upset.
Number 9 is Warriors Club going out for Dwayne Lucas. Louis Sai is going to be aboard 20-1 on the morning line. This horse did have a win 2 starts back in the Grade 3 Commonwealth at Keeneland, going 7 furlongs, upset that field, including a horse that I know you like and is going to have in the top spot in here in Limousine Liberal. Last time out, Limousine Liberal was able to turn the tides on Warrior Club, but you actually got to see back-to-back really good performances for Warrior Club, a horse that hasn't been able to put back-to-back performances together pretty much in the entire career. So that's an encouraging sign. 20-1 on the morning line offers a lot of value.
There is a lot of value, but I don't know if this horse could show that 3 races in a row, stretching out and going against this really competitive field. The 20-1 is definitely a nice value here for Dwayne. He's always competitive in New York, and he's always competitive on these big race cards. So you got to like Louis Saez as well. He's riding the best he's ever rode in his career. And he's had a nice Belmont meet as well, winning 18% over this course. So another question mark I did have on this horse is just the distance, 1 for 5 lifetime. But the other times the horse didn't win, besides that Grade 3, the horse has been competitive at the distance. I'm going to throw out in the wet surface as well in the Pathé Mile. So let's see if this horse can put together 3 in a row at a nice price.
Number 10 is B Jersey going out for Steve Astris, and Ricardo Santana Jr. is going to be aboard 5-1 on the morning line. I don't think you're going to get that. This horse looks to be the speed of speed in here, and there doesn't seem to be any rivaling speed of note that is going to try to go with B Jersey. They're going to play Catch Me If You Can, but this horse has gone the mile distance the last 3 times. All 3 of them have been runaway victories, and the buyers have shown that this horse can really run with this group. I know it's stepping up in class, going to this Grade 1 event, but this horse looks to be on the lead alone, and if this horse is able to kind of run the last 3, is a serious contender at 5-1. Again, I don't think we're going to get that, but somewhere around that 7-2 range, serious contender on the front end.
Yeah, and this horse has beat a nice horse breaking the maiden and Powerful Alley, who's gone on to do some nice things. Beat Gervin last time out, who won the Haskell, and also lost to Thunder Snow overseas by 5 lengths. I thought that was a nice performance as well. So I agree. I don't think we're going to get 5-1 on this horse. Potentially, this horse could go out the favorite over Mind Your Biscuits. This is the speed of the speed. If no one runs with this horse, B Jersey can wire the field again very impressively, as it did last time out.
Number 11 is Awesome Slew going on for Mark Cassidy. Johnny V is going to be aboard 6-1 on the morning line. This horse last time out had a solid 3rd place finish, only beating a neck. Stormed home late, just wasn't able to get there to Limousine Liberal. Also Warrior Club were both in that race. Had to angle 6 wide. But if this horse is able to kind of get back to the form back in 2017, did win that Grade 3 event down at Churchill Downs, got a solid 98 buyer. This horse has been knocking on the door time and time again, has been in the money 15 of 19 as far as lifetime goes. This horse is definitely a use as far as exactas and tries go.
Yeah, I would say that as well, and definitely in your multiples you need to use Awesome Slow. The mile distance the horse runs well in. 3 starts back in that Breeders' Cup Mile. I thought that was a nice performance. Lost to Battle in Midway, who was at a price that day. Lost to Army Mule in the Carter Handicap. We were there for that. Army Mule just ran a hole in the wind, but the one question mark I do have with Awesome Slew, this horse does like to close. There is some other closing speed in here. I think we'll get a better break than Mind Your Biscuits from being on the outside. So B Jersey wants to get to the lead. I think we'll be in a very nice position with Johnny V. So you're getting a nice price here at 6-1. I just hope the horse doesn't hang late in the race. It just seems to never get to the wire. It does have a little bit of second-itis. We haven't seen the horse win since last September. So those are just the question marks, but I think underneath you should definitely use Awesome Slow.
All right, this is going to be quite interesting because you could state a case for about
everyone.
10 horses in here. 10 of the 11 you could state a case for. And what are your thoughts here in the Grade 1 Met Mile?
I'm sticking with my guy, Limousine Liberal here, and this horse has never let me down. I've always made some money on this horse, and I've always gotten a price. I'm going to get a price again today. I'd like to see Jose Ortiz stick around, but he went to Good Samaritan. Do not blame him there at all. Good Samaritan is going to be my one of my long shots in here just because of China and Windstar. I also have McCracken in there. But in the second spot, I'm going to go with B Jersey. I don't think we're going to get 5-1. As a bettor, we all hope we're going to get 5-1, but I'm thinking everyone is seeing the same things as us. Just a really impressive horse with a ton of speed. I put Mind Your Biscuits in the 3rd spot as well. I think it's going to come closing late with the charge that we saw last time out, but I think just comes up short.
Yeah, I went with B Jersey. Again, we kind of alluded to it. If you just take a look at those performances, never seem to get tired at all. Can set some really quick fractions going the mile distance. And I'm not sure if anybody's going to want to go with B Jersey because they'll kind of get duel into defeat going into it. And I'm just I think everybody has to use their race dynamics around V Jersey, and I like that when you're the horse that people have to kind of focus around. And I think he's a nice horse that's searching for 4 in a row. Just step up into Grade 1 company for the first time, but I think can get the job done in here at a decent price. Underneath, number 2, Bolt de Oro. I like Bolt. I've always been a fan of him. I know people are kind of saying he potentially is up against it in this spot, but he's a horse that could sit a nice trip, likes to stock, had that really nice duel with McKenzie as they went toe-to-toe back in the Grade 2 San Felipe. Also faced Justify, was only 3 lengths off of him. And we know how good he is going in the Belmont Stakes, searching for the Triple Crown. I just think he's a grinder. Last time out, I'm going to completely throw out that Derby race. That was the first time on the slot for him, so maybe he just didn't like it. I like the work on him May 28th. 5 furlongs and 57 flat, so that was a really solid workout to get him ready for this spot. And then Mind Your Biscuits, I think I'm going to put in the 3rd spot in here. He's a horse that absolutely could win this race off of that really impressive win overseas at Meydan over in Dubai. But again, the mile distance to me is a little bit of a question mark. I'm not exactly thrilled with the 1 post in here, even though he's going to drop back anyways. But we'll see if he's able to navigate a trip under Joel Rosario. I know they're high and I'm going into this spot, so we'll see if he's able to do that. And then also, I have Good Samaritan. Jose Ortiz, as you mentioned, is going to go from Your Horse to Good Samaritan. I think he's a horse that could definitely close in and get a piece. Now, again, race dynamics are a little bit against him in here. The pace doesn't seem to be super quick, but nonetheless, I think Good Samaritan on the 1-turn mile may actually relish this spot. See if he can make some noise in here at 10-1 on the morning line. All right, that's our thoughts on the Met Mile. We'll transition and take a look at the Grade 1 Manhattan now. It's race number 10 on Saturday. They're going to go 1.25 mile distance on the inner turf. Again, another $1 million person here, 4-year-olds and upward. We'll start out with number 1, Robert Bruce, going out for Chad Brown. Tyler Gaffleone's going to be aboard. 3-1 on the morning line. This horse made the North American debut in the Grade 3 Fort Marcy, where they went really slow early and they went really fast quick. They ended up going 10-4 in that final furlong, and Robert Bruce was able to open up by 3/4 of length against the Knights horse in Spring Quality and also Lucalam, who was going to go in this spot, but ended up having to get sidelined from this spot in here. This horse has done nothing wrong. Raced in South America, in Chile, in the first 6 career starts, all of them being victorious spots. He's 7 for 7 lifetime. Stepping up at this Grade 1 event, you have to like the way this horse raced in the North American debut.
Absolutely, and then you get Gaffleone up again for Chad Brown. A lot of closing speed here. This horse is going to be on a stalking roll. I think it's going to be tough to beat Robert Bruce, and you're going to get a nice price with some other big names in here.
Number 2 is One Go All Go, gone out for Charles Dickey. Chris Landeros is going to be aboard. 12-1 on the morning line. This horse was able to set the pace in the Grade 2 Elkhorn, going 1.5 miles. Was able to get the job done, hang on to be Oscar nominated, and it's in the post. It's in the post, came back to win out in Santa Anita a couple weeks ago. That should have only flatter One Go All Go. Last time out did get grinded down by High Happy and also Sadler's Joy, but only lost that race by a length. Looks to be the dictating speed in here. And again, this horse gets gutsy time and time again. Is a nice price at 12-1.
Yeah, this isn't a horse that really never gets respected on the odds board and just runs huge races. So I think you need to use somewhere in your mix. Definitely if you're playing a pick 3 or a double. I think this is a nice play here. So last time out, the opening fractions, if you rewatch that Man of War, he really had to work, and I know it says 40-92, almost 50, but he really did have to work to get to that lead. He did a good job slowing it down later on in that race, but I didn't think it was a bad effort at all. And he always is at a nice price. His One Go All Go.
Number 3 is High Happy, who's going to be one of the favorites in here. 7-2 on the morning line. Todd Pletcher, Luis Saez, winner of back-to-back victories in a Grade 2 and Grade 1 event. Last time being that Grade 1 Man of War, going 1 mile and 3/8. Does shorten up a furlong in here, but I thought was super impressive, beating the likes of Sadler's Joy and grinding down One Go All Go in that spot. Again, a horse that's in really good form in the Todd Pletcher barn, who's been winning on pretty much everything at Belmont Park, looking for 3 in a row. A lot to like with High Happy.
There's a lot to like, and this horse is probably going to grind out possibly another win. I have the horse right in my mix, so the 1-for-1 at the Belmont, that was last time out in the Man of War. That was a really impressive win. Really had to grind out that win, but looked like had a little bit left in the tank.
Number 4 is a long shot in here. That's Alexios Koninos. 20-1 on the morning line. Florent Giroux is going to be aboard. This horse has been racing overseas. Is going to make the career North American debut. Did have a win, 3 starts back in a Group 3 event in Ireland. Thought that was a decent effort. The last 2 have been subpar, but they've been against really good quality. Sage Wa, a horse you like, that came over to win at Keeneland in the mile event. Also, Rhododendron, who is a very nice horse in the Aidan O'Brien barn. Last time out, the horse did finish 9th, beaten 10. To me, is going to have to use the wait-and-see approach on this horse coming over for the North American debut. Does have 2 wins in 6 lifetime starts, but there's look to be a deep field in here, and you kind of have to look elsewhere.
Yeah, I did look elsewhere, but first time in North America for James Stack, winning. He's 1 for 1, and with a nice ROI of 408, but you're going to get more than that here with Florent Giroux. Did run against Lancaster Bomber as well last time out, and good. I like that you point out Sage Wa. I didn't think that was a bad performance. A lot closer than it looked. So dropping weight, first time favorite, could make it interesting. But I agree. I had to look elsewhere.
I mean, did have that second place performance by neck to Churchill, and Churchill's a very nice horse overseas. So again, this is a horse that potentially could show up, potentially could not. But again, you kind of have to use that wait-and-see approach. Nonetheless, if you're playing multi-race wagers and you're looking for one of those races to kind of bomb out in, this potentially could be one of those overseas horses that could really blow up the pick 3s, pick 4s, pick 5s, and pick 6s. So we'll see on Saturday. On to number 5, Ketcho and Die. 50 to 1 on the morning line. Junior Alvarado is going to be aboard. Did win 2 starts back at Aqueduct going the mile distance and a $40,000 claimer. Stepped up last time in the Grade 1 Manowar. We talked about this horse, how we thought was completely over his head going into that race. Finished 5th, only beaten 3 3/4 lengths. 2 High Happy, Sadler's Joy, and 1 Go All Go. So I didn't think that was really that bad of a performance. Got a 99 buyer, now gets sent to this Grade 1 Manhattan. This horse is going to be sitting probably 3rd or 4th the entire way around, but potentially a horse that could round out the supers at an enormous price of 50 to 1.
Absolutely, and you get going back to the distance. This horse really likes running as well. I remember talking about this horse in the Manowar. Just thought it was completely over its head. Had the best buyer of 99 there. I think can only improve off of that, but I didn't have in my mix. But for a superfecta, why not? Junior Alvarado always runs in the lower parts of the money at big prices.
Number 6 is Hello Don Julio going off for Michael Dilger. Kendrick Carmouche is going to be aboard 30 to 1 on the morning line. This horse does have a victory 2 starts back, albeit that was back in August of 2017. Did get a nice 97 buyer in that optional claiming event. Last time out was October 9th of 2017, so it's coming off of a long layoff. The workouts have been solid. The horse last time finished 3rd, beating a length and a quarter to Black Type, and also Mutasir, who was so good up at Saratoga back in 2017. Again, one of those horses that you have to use the wait-and-see approach on the long layoff, stepping up into this Grade 1 quality type of field against the likes of High Happy, Robert Bruce, and horses that have been razor sharp. You kind of have to use the wait-and-see approach.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it with this horse, but I do like Mike Dilger. I think he's a solid trainer, and I do like Kendrick Carmouche as well. This horse also is right on the money, 6 of 8 times, 3 for 3 at the distance. So let's see if this horse wants to play catch me if you can on the front with 1 Go All Go.
Interesting, the number 7, Fashion Business for Phil D'Amato and Flavian Prat coming over. 30 to 1 on the morning line. This horse won a 1 other than optional claimer last time out, coming from off the pace. Was 9 1/4 back, went clear by 2 1/4. Thought that was a very impressive performance. But again, that was in a 1 other than optional claimer. Stepping up into this Grade 1 event, they're shipping this horse all the way over to the east. To me, on paper, you really don't see it, but it's interesting to see that the connections are going to put this horse in this spot in this Grade 1 event. Potentially a closer in here that could potentially get in the supers.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there's other closers in Sadler's Joy and High Happy and the multiplier as well. So let's see if Flavian can get a nice little trip like last time out. I thought that was a perfect trip, but obviously it's facing much better than last time out.
Number 8 is one of those serious closers. That's Sadler's Joy. Going out for Tam Albatrani. Javier Castellano is going to be aboard 8 to 1 on the morning line. Last time out was closing late on High Happy. Just lost by half a length. I thought that was a decent second place performance. Does have that victory 3 starts back at Gulfstream Park in that Grade 2 event, beating the likes of 1 Go All Go. Again, you kind of expect the same race from Sadler's Joy. And the problem is the horse has raced 7 times at Belmont. Only 1 win. Has been in the money 4 times, but only that 1 win. 6 for 17 as far as lifetime goes, as far as wins. But to me, going to be one of those horses that people use, probably around that 5 to 6 to 1 range. But again, I just can't use Sadler's Joy in this spot.
I didn't use the horse either. It's just the one scary thing, the 1-for-7 over this Belmont surface. A serious closer. It's going to come late. Probably going to make it interesting, but I just think falls up short again like it did in the Mandalore.
Number 9 is Channel Maker going off for Belmont. Jose Ortiz is going to be aboard 20-1 on the morning line. This horse reappeared off a little bit of a freshening last time out in that Grade 1 Turf Classic on Churchill Downs, the Kentucky Derby undercard day, and finished 5th, beaten 6 lengths to Yoshida, and also Beach Patrol. Synchrony was in that race as well. I didn't think that was that bad of a performance. The problem is the horse hasn't won since August of 2017 and hasn't won in 7 starts. So for me, again, going to have to use the wait-and-see approach. For me, the sort of the maximum positioning as far as this horse running the best race and race dynamics kind of going, race-wise, possibly could hit the exactas, but more likely kind of hit the tries or supers.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Billy Mott and Jose Ortiz, too, unbelievable on the grass, training and jockey-wise. So, 3-back, I didn't think that was a bad performance at all, the heart-to-heart at Gulfstream Park. I think if it runs like that 99 buyer, I still think will come up short, but potentially could run in to complete exactas, trifectas, and supers.
And number 10 is Beach Patrol going out for Chad Brown. Joel Rosario is going to be aboard 5-2 on the morning line. Again, is going to be a morning line favorite in here off that second place performance to Yoshida, only lost by 3/4 of a length. Really had no excuses in that race. Potentially, you could say off that long layoff, the horse just needed one. Second off the layoff, looks to be much more fit. Has been in the money 3 of 4 starts over the Belmont surface, but only has 1 victory. Again, it's going to be such a short price in here. You want to kind of take a stand against Beach Patrol in here. I have solidly in the mix, but again, at the price, you kind of wanted to look elsewhere.
Yeah, I have Beach Patrol in the mix as well, and I know lost to a horse that you liked in the Breeders' Cup and Talismanic. So last time out, I really thought the horse was going to get up there. Nice effort by Yoshida. Horse seems to like the distance as well. And from a stalking role, we've seen this horse go a little bit quicker on these marathon races. And the horse is able to hang on at the slow when the paces are a little bit slower. So I have it in the mix, but too short of a price. I agree with you.
Number 11 is Manitoulin going out for Jimmy Toner. Mike Smith is going to be aboard. Another one that reappeared off of a long layoff in the Grade 3 Fort Marcy, a race that we talked about with Robert DeBruce winning, who's going to be the number 1 in here, and also Spring Quality, who's also going to be in this race. We'll touch upon a little bit later on. Finished 6th that day, Manitoulin did, beaten 3 1/4, did have that win 2 starts back, albeit that was back in 2017 in the Grade 2 Hollywood Turf Cup. I did beat the likes of Chicago Style and also Flamboyant, 2 nice horses that are out there as well. Again, this horse shows some versatility, is able to be up close to the lead, also is able to drop back and make 1 quick run. And also the fact that the horse is 3 for 6 as far as win goes at Belmont Park. So again, if you want to use that horse for course angle, you're getting Mike Smith aboard, you're getting big odds at 20-1. Possibility in here.
Yeah, I like Mike Smith back in the irons as well. Horse did win last time out, took a lot of money with Mike Smith up. I don't think it will take nearly as much money at 20-1. Jimmy Toner's had a nice Belmont meet as well. Possibility to complete some superfectas, but if you don't like Hello Don Julio, this horse was a flat-out favorite against Hello Don Julio at Saratoga. Couldn't get it done at that optional claiming level, but really, it's a completely different horse. You could tell from the past performances. I think will be a much better. It's going to run second time since that layoff from Del Mar.
Number 12 is Multiplier going out for Peter Miller. Victor Espinoza is going to be aboard 30-1 on the morning line. This is an interesting move. A horse that predominantly had been running on dirt, including last year in the Preakness, in the Belmont. Didn't do any running in those. But again, took a lot of money, 2 and 3 starts back, and an optional claimer at Santa Anita. And then Peter Miller decided to switch this horse to the turf. And it ended up being a right move. This horse was able to close into it, get up, and win that 2 other than optional claimer, going the 1 1/8. They went a quick 1:47 4 for that 1 1/8 distance. And now he shifts this horse over from the west to the east in this Grade 1 Manhattan. And again, this horse has some back class and has faced the likes of Taproot, Cloud Computing, also the likes of some other really good horses that raced last year as 3-year-olds. Again, if you're looking for a little bit of a wise guy horse, I'm not saying this horse can win, but potentially on the move to the turf and the fact that Peter Miller is so high on this horse to run this horse in the Grade 1 event, another useful horse in here at 30-1.
Absolutely, with Victor Espinoza. So Again, I would like to see one more turf performance. That's a lot to ask for the run into Manhattan after winning an optional claimer by a nose. But I definitely think the turf was the right move. Would just like to see a little bit more experience.
Number 13 is Spring Quality going out for Grand Motion. Edgar Prado is going to be aboard 12-1 on the morning line. This horse is going to be second off the layoff. Did come off the layoff last time out to finish second to Robert the Bruce. Only lost by 3/4 of a length. Got a nice 100 buyer. And again, off that long layoff, you're seeing a 100 buyer. You have to believe that this horse is going to be able to improve. The 13 post, I'm not thrilled with the 13 post, but I'm not saying it's going to be the end-all, be-all for this horse. It's going to be forwardly placed. Should be sitting just off of the speed in here, probably tracking 2 or 3 wide going into it. And the workouts have been very good at Fairhill, including that 7 furlong work. I think this horse is an interesting wise guy horse to use at 12-1.
Yeah, I have the horse solidly in my mix because I'm such a big fan of Robert Bruce. So 12-1, this is my long shot play in here. I agree. You're not thrilled with the 13 post. I don't think it will be a problem either. I think we'll get a clean break. With multiplier, really not trying to get towards the lead.
All right, interesting. Another interesting race where you could probably make a case for a bunch of them. What are your thoughts here on the Grade 1 Manhattan?
I went 1, 13, 10, and 3 here. Robert Bruce on top. I think this horse is coming in razor sharp, 7 for 7 lifetime. You like Chad Brown, especially on the grass. You like Tyler Gaffalione. Big fan of Tyler Gaffalione. 13 in the second spot, Spring Quality. We just talked about. Also my long shot here, Edgar Prado. And Grand Motion. Horse ran great last time out, and I'm a big fan of Robert Bruce. And then number 10, Beach Patrol. I had to use in the mix. It'd be hard not to play into the mix. Ran a great race the last 2 starts behind Talismanic. I know you like in Yoshida, who was a steal at a nice price, and Kentucky Derby Day.
Yeah, I have the same 4 horses, just in different order. I have 3, 1, 10, and 13. Did land on High Happy, who's been so impressive in the last 2, looking for 3 in a row for Todd Pletcher, Luis Saez. Going to be sitting just off of the speed in here. It looks to be 1 go all go from the 2 hole. So we'll see if High Happy can track him and get a jump on the closers in here, including Robert the Bruce, who I have in the second spot. 7 for 7 lifetime. Really nothing wrong to say about this horse. Ran a quick race last time out, coming home in 10 and 4. So I like this horse a lot. Just trying to offer a little bit more value with High Happy, as Robert the Bruce looks to take a lot of money in here at the 3-1 morning line price. And then number 10, Beach Patrol. Probably going to get lost in the shuffle in here. A horse that has all the back class comparative to High Happy and Robert the Bruce. But nonetheless, I think Beach Patrol, last time out, had no excuses at all, losing to Yoshida, a horse that time and time again runs in the money here at Belmont over the turf course, but isn't able to get the job done. So we'll see if he's able to get the job done on Saturday. Then my long shot play is going to be number 13, Spring Quality, a winner 2 starts back in a Grade 3 event at Aqueduct. Reappeared off a long layoff and finished a nice second-place performance by 3/4 of a length to Robert the Bruce last time out. So I think at 12-1 offers a lot of value. I like the workout pattern for Grand Motion as well. All right, we've taken a look at 4 of the 5. When we come back, we'll take a look at the big one, see if Justify could win that Triple Crown. We'll take a look at all the analysis of it as we come back, so stay tuned.
In a recent study of some of the top online wagering sites, Capital OTB won big in total player rewards, far surpassing some of the best-known wagering sites in America. While other rewards programs simply offer you points redeemable for gift cards, Capital OTB's rebates are paid to you in actual cash. Plus, Capital OTB gives you full and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
To the Capital OTB Stakes preview. We were through 4 of the 5 on the Saturday undercard. We are up to the big one. See if Justify can do it in the Grade 1 Belmont. They're going to go 1.5 miles. It's for 3-year-olds. A solid field of 10, 9 rivals to Justify, who did draw the rail in number 1. That is Justify going out for Bob Baffert. Mike Smith, 4 to 5 on the morning line. 5 for 5 lifetime. Broke the Apollo curse. No horse had won not racing as a 2-year-old. This horse is going to run 6 times in 4 months, which is a concern. Everybody's been kind of talking about that Preakness effort, getting a career low 97 buyer. Really seems to be, in people's eyes, sort of the amount of races in that time frame are really taking a toll on him. There's a lot of question marks about if he can get the 1.5 miles. I like the workout pattern for him. I've always been a fan of him. I don't think it's going to be even close. I think Justify is going to win this race by 6 or 7 lengths, stamping himself as a very, very good 3-year-old, the 13th Triple Crown winner, and also going on to do some really good things. But I could also see the opposing views where, everything, the running the gauntlet per se, as you would say, as far as the Triple Crown goes, and also all those races in the time frame. I could see that as a viable reason why you bet against them.
Absolutely. I mean, the odds are against this horse. A lot of other horses have been in this situation. Chrome, Funny Side, Big Brown, Smarty Jones. I'll have another scratching. So, it is going to be tough to be Justified. As a bettor, I really want to be Justified. I will make a lot more money. And on the other side, I want Justified to win the Triple Crown, and I want him to come to Travers and lose. So I don't know which one I want. So it is going to be tough to beat this horse, But let's see if this horse can handle all these races in such a short period of time. And again, just last time out, I think Mike Smith had a whole nother gear or 3 gears last time out. He wasn't asking anything from that horse at the finish line. Everyone was saying, Bravazzo and Tenfold are going to catch him at the 1.5 miles. Mike Smith didn't ask him for anything. Once he put away Good Magic, he was completely handridden. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
I'm excited for
even
it.
on the gallop out, Mike Smith said when Bravazzo came up to him and also Tenfold, he never let him pass him on the gallop out. He's such a smart horse where you see as a person that a horse is closing on another horse. But Justify never saw those horses on the outside until they came to him, and then he was said, okay, well, it's game on. So for me, I just don't think... I think he actually wants to track horses more, so I'm hoping, as far as race dynamics goes, that Mike Smith doesn't go out there and try to wing it. But nonetheless, I think he's a horse that says, it's game time. When horses come to me, it's game time. I kick clear from them. And, there's the potential that he could idle going in to the home turn. But nonetheless, I still think he's just such a phenomenal racehorse in here. And I think he's going to validate everything and answer every question that people have said about him. He's done it time and time again. No one said that he could win and not running as a 2-year-old. Everybody said it's too quick going into the Derby. Everybody said, well, maybe the Derby took too much out of him. He's answered the test about the wet surface. He's answered the test about pretty much everything. And I just think he's going to be able to answer one more question on Saturday and get the job done. On to number 2, Free Drop Billy, going off for Dale Romans. Robbery Alvarado is going to be aboard, 30-1 on the morning line. This horse did have a decent 4th-place finish where it got bothered badly by Sporting Chance in that Grade 2 Bluegrass. Last time out, did run in the Kentucky Derby. Finished 16th, beating 41. Again, didn't really show any running that day. But if you take a look at the workout pattern, this horse has been training up a storm, including that workout on June 3rd, 59-1, a nice bullet, 5 furlongs. Again, maybe a wise guy horse to use in there at 30-1?
Yeah, I mean, this horse has been working like it's going to try to get closer to the lead instead of sitting 12. 12th by 7, 8th by 4, or 3 by 11th like it's been usually doing, because this horse likes to close. This horse just really never finds the winner's circle, does a good job running in the money. So let's see if Robbie Alvarado wants to take it to Justify in the beginning based off these works. Maybe sitting right off the pace, something that we haven't seen from Free Drop Billy.
Number 3 is Bravazzo, going off for D. Wayne Lucas, 8-1 on the morning line. Luis Sai is going to be aboard. One of those horses that was coming to Justify in the Preakness, only lost by a half length. I thought that was a very good second-place performance. Got a career-best 96 buyer. And again, D. Wayne Lucas has been very high in this horse. Says he's been in very good form. You have to like that work on a May 31st. Going the mile workout, 142 and 3. That's a stamina-based workout in here to try to get the 1.5 mile distance. But again, this horse is one of 2 horses to me that has been a wise guy, buzz horse coming into it. And again, at 8-1, offers some great value.
A lot of value here. I don't think repeats that performance we saw in the Preakness. I could be completely wrong, but in the Risen Star, that was, I thought, the best performance the horse had, winning at 21-1, and then didn't see it in the Louisiana Derby, but really has been preparing based off that work we saw. It's going to try to get to the distance.
Number 4 is another one of those buzz horses. Probably the most buzz as far as any other horse than Justify is Hofburg. Going out for Bill Mott. Rod Ortiz Jr. is going to be aboard. 9-2 on the morning line. This horse only has 4 career starts, including that very impressive maiden victory back at Gulfstream Park. And also notably that second place performance in the Florida Derby off of that maiden victory to Audible. I thought that was a very good performance. In the Derby, this horse got brushed around, steadied twice, finished 7th that day. Again, probably wasn't the best of trips going in to the Derby, but again, Bill Mott gave this horse a little time off, has been training him up at Saratoga, and this horse is a big quality colt, just like Justify is. If he's able to get the 1.5 mile distance, he's a serious contender.
Absolutely, and you get a ride Ortiz in the irons again. You like to see that, and Bill Mott really wants to win this race. He knows how good Justify is, but this horse has been working hard up at Saratoga. I'm really excited to see how Hopper does.
Number 5 is Restoring Hope, going off for Bob Baffert. Florent Giroux is going to be aboard at 30-1 on the morning line. This horse did win a restricted maiden special weight at Santa Anita back in February against the likes of a decent couple horses, including Jimmy Chula. Then finished third in the Wood Memorial. I know you and I both had the horse on top as he transferred that West Coast form over to the East. Finished third, beaten 5 1/4. I didn't think that was that bad of an effort. I actually think he's going to stay the 1.5 mile distance today. Or on Saturday, excuse me. And he's an interesting horse to use as a serious bomb at 30-1.
He is interesting here with Florent Giroux, Bob Baffert. Why is Bob going to send this horse here? I don't know. Maybe he'll get to the lead with Justify. So I think that's going to be interesting. I did like the horse in the Wood Memorial of Flavien Prat last time out. Completely tossed that in the slop in the Pate Mile. So I think it's very interesting what they're doing here, Gary and Mary West and Florent Giroux.
Number 6 is Gronkowski, going off for Chad Braun. Jose Ortiz is going to be aboard 12-1 on the morning line, and everybody thinks Gronkowski. You think of Rob Gronkowski from the New England Patriots, which I know you love the New England Patriots. We've talked about it a bunch of times on Handicappers Report, but Rob Gronkowski, that is, actually heard about this horse and bought into it.
Yeah.
So that's a funny story to kind of, if you're a New England Patriots fan and you love them through and through, you have to bet Gronkowski on Saturday because Rob Gronkowski is part owner of this horse. But this horse is a serious contender. Has won the last 4, is looking for 5 in a row. All of them were overseas, and this horse has been working out tremendously. I know Chad's very high in this horse. 4 for 6 lifetime. The 1.5 mile is a little bit of a question mark, but if this horse can get it, is another one that would potentially, at some decent prices, would be able to kind of be a serious threat to Justify.
Yeah, I could see this horse going off as the third choice, possibly the second choice to Justify, just because of the name alone. But Chad is so good bringing horses to North America for the first time, and we see that time and time again. We talk about it every week on the Stakes Preview, but I like seeing Jose Ortiz, first-time Lasix, dropping a couple pounds from what the horse is used to overseas.
Number 7 is Tenfold, going out for Steve Asmussen. Ricardo Sanchina Jr. is going to be aboard 12-1 on the morning line. This horse won the first 2 career races of the career at Oaklawn Park, including that impressive one other than optional claimer against Navistar and Plainsman. The last 2 have been in Grade 1 company, including that third place finish in the Preakness to Bravazzo and Justify. Again, this horse kind of got bumped around a little bit, didn't get the best of trips. I thought Tenfold was a serious play for me in the Preakness. I'm not so sure going into the Belmont, but I know you're really high on him.
I am, and I want to see this horse try to get closer to the pace. The horse usually doesn't try to close like that. Wants to take a stalking roll and then go. Last time out came out of the fog. Really interesting horse. I'm really high on Tenfold. I'm interested to see where Ricardo places this horse. And I get a really big creator feel from this horse, the Steve Asmussen horse. This horse is going to sit right off the pace, let everyone do their thing, and then he's going to go. So let's see if someone will run with Justify, tire him out. If so, I'm really interested to see where Ricardo Santana places his horse.
Number 8 is Vina Rosso, another wise guy horse coming into it for Todd Pletcher, Johnny V. Going to be a stone cold closer in here. Did have that victory in the Wood Memorial where he was able to come from off the pace, grind down, enticed, and also Restoring Hope. Got a nice career best 98 buyer. This horse has been working up a storm. It is a little bit of a head scratcher though that the horse finished 9th, beaten 10.5 in the Kentucky Derby. I expected this horse to run much better in the Churchill, that Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs. Albeit it was over the slop, maybe the horse didn't like the slop. This horse as a closer should be able to get the 1.5 mile distance, but again, that closing kick, is it going to flatten out, or is he still going to be able to keep kind of grinding down, Justify at the top of the stretch we're going to see on Saturday?
Yeah, I think the 1.5 mile will be fine. This is another horse I think, along with Blenton Citizen, we haven't talked about yet, but I think the 1.5 mile won't be an issue at all. I think had a lot left in that Wood Memorial, beating Entice, a horse that I always thought can only go one turn. And so the Wood Memorial performance was really interesting, and it was a nice performance. It's out from the outside stall again, and I think this horse can handle the distance.
Number 9 is Noble Indy, going out for Todd Pletcher. Javier Castellano's going to be aboard 30-1 on the morning line. Blinkers are going to go off, and this horse did run the best races of the career with the blinkers off. Looks to be forwardly placed. Looks to be the main speed going into it with Justify. So it's interesting that Justify drew the rail and Noble Indy outside, because if Noble Indy decides to apply some pressure to Justify early, it may soften it up for some others in here. This horse did win the Grade 2 Louisiana Derby 2 starts back against Lone Sailor and My Boy Jack. Looks to be, again, one of those speeds that are going to be going into a mile and a half. To me, is quite concerning in here. But again, this horse may be the X factor as far as applying pressure to Justify.
And I hope Noble Indy does that. I hope Noble Indy makes it an interesting race for everybody and takes it to Justify early. And we know the distance is a big question mark, but let's see. And as you said, taking the blinkers off, this is when the horse ran its best races, the first 3 starts. So I'm interested to see what happens.
Number 10 is Blended Citizen. Doug O'Neill, Kyle Frey is going to be aboard. 15-1 on the morning line. This horse was the upset winner in the Grade 3 Peter Pan. I liked him going into that race. He kind of validated the reasons why I liked him. Went off at a little bit over 9-2. Got a 90 buyer, which is career best for this horse. I know has to improve as far as buyer figures goes immensely to be even part of this spot. But I know this horse is going to be able to get a mile and a half. 15-1 offers a lot of value. The workouts have been quite sharp. Has been training at Belmont, so has been getting acclimated to the surface. Already has the victory in that Peter Pan over the Belmont surface as well. I think there's a lot to like. 15-1 offers to me a lot of value.
There is a lot to like here. I agree. I think the stretch out is going to help this horse for Doug O'Neill. The works have been phenomenal. The horse has just stayed in New York since that Man of War win. So I think it's very, very interesting at 15-1.
All right, what are your thoughts on the big one? Can Justify win that Triple Crown?
I'm going to go with Tenfold on top of Justify, on top of Blended Citizen. Vino Rosa to complete the supers for me. But Tenfold, I think, is really interesting. A horse that I know can handle the distance. I hope takes a stalking role. I hope Noble Indy makes Justify work, and then Tenfold's right there. Blended Citizen's going to be coming late as well. I'm interested to see what Gronkowski does. He's the long shot. My long shot play in this field is Gronkowski, so... Again, I'm interested to see. I think the key horse we already talked about is Noble Indy, trying to make Justify work a little bit. And based off some workouts, I'm interested to see where Free Drop Billy and Bravazzo are placed as well.
Yeah, I think the Triple Crown is going to happen on Saturday. I do like Justify. Been on his bandwagon the entire 5-race career for him. And again, he's just the real deal. He's answered every question. Everybody's always had concerns about not racing at 2, the fact that he has so many races in such a short span of time. And again, I understand that 6 races in 4 months is a lot, but again, he's just one of those horses that is physically superior to anybody. So when everybody gets tired at a mile and a half, his stride is just so much longer. It's just like Zenyatta. It's just like all the great ones who had that really big stride and was able to kind of run just physically wise, was able to cover more ground than everybody else. So I think Justify is going to be able to do it. I don't think he ran his A race, probably B minus race in the Preakness, so I like to see that. I'm glad that he wasn't running his A race in the Preakness like we've seen with such others like California Chrome and all of the big ones when Funny Side looked so dominant and also Smarty Jones looked so dominant coming out of their performances. I like to see that there is some room for improvement with Justify. I think he's going to be a runaway winner. I don't even think it's going to be close. I think he's going to win by about 5 or 6 lengths, geared down, so we'll see if he's able to do that on Saturday. Underneath, Blended Citizen for me to round out a pretty nice exact. I think he's going to be coming from off the pace. Will definitely be able to get the mile and a half. Does have a win over the track surface. And again, I like the workout pattern for this horse, 15-1 on the morning line. And also Bravazzo, a horse going off for D. Wayne. Very impressive last time out. One of the buzz horses as far as trying to beat Justify going into it. I think he's another one to use at 8-1. And then also Gronkowski. He's a horse to me that I know everybody's just going to laugh because it's Gronkowski and everybody's thinking Rob Gronkowski and bringing him over here. But he's a serious contender in here, looking for 5 in a row. Chad Brown, Jose Ortiz is going to be aboard. Again, the mile and a half to me is the only question, but you could say that about anybody in this race. Nonetheless, I think he's another horse coming in some very good form and looks to try to get the job done and upset the Triple Crown situation that is going to happen on Saturday. So we'll see if Justify can get it done. Thanks for tuning in as we took a look at 5 stakes races, deep fields. It's going to be tremendous betting races. So hopefully everybody cashes some tickets on Saturday. We'll be back next week to talk about some more. So take care.